we were watching the game together and Nedum was trying to predict which way every penalty was going to go. I think you got most of them wrong. But one you did get right.
So I didn't get all of them wrong.
Well, one you got right was Alvaro Morata.
Yeah, it was... I think for me, it was just the way that certain people run up to the ball. You know, you can never tell for sure where someone's going to go. But I think sometimes you can sort of guess from the way, as I say, they do run up. And, you know, to talk about something which Shaka was saying there, the penalty situation being fourth or fifth, I think in this instance it was a bad one because Morata had to step up to score the penalty to keep them in the competition. But if he was to score the winning penalty, would you have had more confidence in him?
No.
You'd have none whatsoever?
No.
Because sure, that's a position where there's like almost no pressure. It's almost like it's a free hit.
Against Slovakia, wasn't it to take? It was to go 1-0 up. And again, he fluffed his lines then.
Yeah.
What do you make of it, Frank?
It's why for me, I will have to disagree with Shaka. I think it doesn't really matter which position you are in the shootout because you know the importance of scoring a goal for your teammates but for your country. And so it would have been first or second. The pressure would have been for me the same. I've been in that situation. And I already talked about that. Leaders have to shoot first because they have to show the way, and if they feel confident, it will maybe drive the other into the success. But no way for me. It would have been better to take somebody who didn't want to shoot the penalty than to pick Morata.
But he had just scored.
No.
It
doesn't mean anything. For me, it doesn't mean anything. You can score a goal. He still thinks, well, let's go back to where Morata was 3 games ago, where all Spain hated him.
Right.
You know? Big pressure on his family, on everything. The guy comes back, score 1 goal, score the equalizer, so goes back to a fantastic resurrection where he becomes almost the hero. Why you want to put him down again? Why, Luis Enrique, you're the coach, you think that it will be not a good idea to pick him? Because well, if he scores, it's okay, but it doesn't change anything for him. You know what I mean? But you know that if he doesn't score, he's going to go back to the face that he was for. Now, because not what it is. Morata is a bad player. Morata shouldn't have taken the penalty. That's a big mistake. But you have to blame the coach. Because the player, he wants to serve the club, he wants to serve his country. But the coach should have said, no, you don't shoot. For the sake of your life after football, you don't shoot because people are going to remind you of that forever.
I don't fully agree with that. And the reason I say that is because of the continuation from there. If we took Morata out of that starting 5, and he dragged somebody else in, because to be fair, we don't know how many people wanted to take a penalty. No, we don't know either way.
Exactly. Because maybe some people wanted to shoot, but because Morata was there, they didn't.
Say if we assume that, nobody else wants to take a penalty, and the manager says to Alvaro Morata, I don't want you to take a penalty, and you bring somebody else in who doesn't want to take a penalty, and that person misses a penalty, how does it look that the manager's brought in somebody who didn't want to take one, who's missed, and he left Alvaro Morata outside of that starting
I agree. There is no good situation, but I want to have... I'm almost sure that out of 11 players, you can find 5 who can shoot. We are professional players, come on. That shouldn't be that. On top of it, we all know that after the 5 players, if it's 5-5, you have to shoot. So somebody has to step up.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm sure there is one other Spanish who could have stepped up.
So Donnarumma makes the save to deny Morata. Jorginho steps up. We all know what Jorginho is going to do. We've seen him do it for club and country. Unai Simon goes down early and makes it easy, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Why does he go down so early?
I think it's tension. It's pressure on Unai Simon in a situation that goalkeepers don't normally face pressure. When we face penalty kicks, the pressure is all on the taker. And you know that, standing there on the line, so you can stay as long as you like and wait to the very last second if that's what it takes. 2 things. Jorginho is an outstanding penalty taker. Right. You know he's good. You know his record. So you feel that to make that save, you have to go early. And now all of a sudden you're in a position where you have to make the save, which as a goalkeeper you don't normally, well, certainly in penalties, is not something you're used to.
But you know he's going to jump, Shaka. Yeah? You know it. So why not just stand still?
In theory, I think that makes perfect sense. But when you're under that kind of pressure, when you're that tense, that's what's telling. That pressure is why Olmo doesn't put it top corner and drills it 10 yards, as opposed to drilling it 10 yards over the crossbar. But that pressure is normally in almost defense almost. That's what takers face.
Okay.
But goalkeepers don't. But I just think that Unai Simon got tangled up with the pressure that all of a sudden he found himself under.
For me, no excuse. Really, no excuse. Okay, the pressure, I understand what Shaka says. You have the action made by the shooter, and the reaction made by the goalkeeper because he has nothing to do and mostly pray for a miss, a bad shot, who can make it the hero of the shootouts. Your teammates, Morata, just misses the penalty. You have like a minute before Jorginho is taking the final one. You see him coming. You know it's Jorginho. Even if you don't follow the Premier League, you follow the Champions League. Yeah. We all know, like we know how Neymar does, how Bruno Fernandes does, how Jorginho does. And you're going to tell me that because you're shaking and you're scared that you might lose the semi-final, you forget about the famous Jorginho's jump and you dive before. No, I'm sorry. You're a professional player and you know that. You can, let's say he jumps, you don't move. Maybe you're going to be...
Careful, Frank, your age.
All right, because I'm into it, I'm into it. So.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.